So you want to know about King's Game? Well, my first question is why. My second question is there something wrong with you? But before we do that, would you sacrifice your friends for a little extra time? Ponder on that one. There's no real wrong answer, but there is some moral compasses that are being kind of thrown out the roof right here. Let's talk about this show and see whether or not it is the right one for you. And it's very fitting because this is also filmed on Friday the 13th. As we talk about a horror anime. King's Game came out in 2017 as a show that made you think about mortality and how it just does not matter. At least that's what this show depicts. It's got a sense of grunge to it that is just kind of off the wall way too much. And look, I'm a guy that's all for grunge. Shows like Future Diary, Elfen Lied, and even Attack on Titan can be great, but they all have their sense of what the heck is going on moments that really make you question whether or not you should be watching. Now, for King's Game, it's just strictly around that grunge that makes you question that fact because, well, everything else is kind of fine. I mean, there's not a lot of fan service. You could watch it with your girlfriend if she could stomach it, and, well, you'll probably be pretty confused because this show's got 2 times as many characters as a show like Assassination Classroom, which already has way too many characters. Let's talk a little bit about the story. Nobuyaki is a high school student. He's supposed to save the world. At least that's what he thinks and the rest of his classmates think because he's the only one that's played these games before. Does that ring any bells, Squid Game fans? Yeah, that's right. It's a death game, which can really set up for an entertaining story, especially when it's centered around text messages to your phone. Imagine this. You wake up one morning and you have a strange text from a contact named King. It tells you that you need to touch some classmate in an inappropriate way or you'll get punished. Would you take that as a joke? Also, what type of punishment are we talking? A little scrape on the shoulder or death? Well, in this show, it's 100% death. I mean, well, there is one person, she goes blind, but other than that, it's 99.9% death. You would probably just shrug this off, same as your classmates. They wouldn't think anything of it, and if you were a classmate that decided to take this serious, you'd get ridiculed. But if you already knew that this is a real game that you've played before, you'd tell your classmates, and then they'd probably all get onto you for being some type of weirdo. So, yeah, I guess the best way to do this is just not tell anybody that you've been in these games until somebody's died. But then you're the asshole after somebody does die, and they still don't believe that this is a real deal. So, you gotta wait until a few more kids die, and then everybody starts understanding. So you tell the kids, we all gotta work together, and let's just say they don't always do that. Particularly in the first episode, we get a wonderful, wonderful group of characters that you learn nothing about, and you can't even really learn their names before they're all gone off the planet. So, yeah, no, there's like 4 characters that you might remember the names of because this show's pacing is absolutely ridiculous. Think about this. Whenever you get deep into the rabbit hole of anime, you find a lot of shows that are just 12 episodes. It does a decent job of getting the pace along. Sometimes it feels a little rushed. King's Game said, screw that. We're gonna stick 2 stories into one show and see if we could get it all done in 12 episodes flat, with no extended runtimes on any of those episodes. I wish the show would just focus on one of these storylines because I have no idea which kids are from what class. It focuses on Nobuyaki's first and second time playing the game, which makes absolutely all the sense in the world. Why? Why'd you do this? Well, probably because the studio behind this one is Studio 7. Yeah, that studio that was behind all of those colorful anime that you've probably never seen, right? Delete your browser history now. We get to see how Nobuyaki's first classmates failed, then we get to see his new classmates slowly but surely fail this entire game. There's no winning in this show, and they don't give a fuck. They could hang 3 kids, then go on and hang 3 more. It does not matter. And hey, why not? Implosion on the body. I hate when that happens. That stinks. Oh, where are you headed off to? Oh, you're dead. Okay, all right. They're all dead. But here's the kicker. There's got to be a way out of this King's Game, right? I mean, there's got to be an ultimatum, a way to win the game. I mean, it wouldn't be a game if that wasn't the case, right? Well, King's Game said screw that too. You're not getting out of here even if everybody dies. If you kill everybody, this thing's not gonna end. Why is that? Because it's a virus that spread from just a normal virus that we've seen in the past, maybe like a COVID or a cold or a black plague. But it's grown. It's grown to a level that is uncomprehendable. A level that is within our technology, going from cellular device to cellular device. How does that work? Let me be real with you. I don't think any of the creators are scientists of any means. The first few episodes are actually pretty interesting, with the first being really good at just engaging me right into the story. It starts very cliche with a new student arriving at school. He becomes acquainted with these classmates. Then the fun begins. The students are faced with life or death situations that may start off simple, but, well, could still lead to death, like implosions, just body parts flying off. But this only happens if you fail the challenges, so you're probably gonna be fine if you can sleep with the girl that sits next to you. Yeah, most of you guys are doomed. Another challenge would have to be, well, one kid playing the role of the king. That means, well, he could just say, I dare you to go and get me Tic Tacs, and that's all said and done. It's dealt with. But the challenge prior made one kid sleep with his girlfriend, and well, the new king, interim king, tells the kid to go and himself. Which he does. Yeah, for a second you thought you were confident there. Yeah, you're doomed either way. And that's after a long night of rocking. Just does not fit anywhere within the first few episodes of this show, but you know what? You always gotta make a little time for the band. You know, do a little jammy jam. Also, with the only information we get about this kid's personality, Nobuyaki wants to play the Budokan, which is really cool, but following this episode, he never strums it again. I mean, just throw it out the window. Like, screw it. Screw it, dude. You know, what's character development, bro? Also, it is up to Nobuyaki to save everybody because, well, the police don't really play a part. There's no such thing as police. There's just dead kids laying around this town, and the police just not questioning it. They're not doing anything about it. The doctors, I don't even know if the doctors can do anything about it because this thing's a virus. And yeah, just gonna keep going until everybody's gone. Let's talk about some of these characters. Nobuyaki is very selfless. He's all about the people. He wants to help them out. And that's contradicted by our main antagonist, Natsuko, who starts out as Nobuyaki's girl toy. Natsuko is very sweet, very waifu material in the first few episodes just to go off the deep end, and there's no reason why. She just does it. And you even get to learn about her backstory, and you think that you could feel for her, but no, she just turned psycho for no freaking reason. We also get Chimi, Nayo, Ria. They're all gone. They're a part of the first class, and you already know they all die. Then we get these different characters that get scattered throughout the show to kind of feel for them, but they only get maybe 1 or 2 episodes of screen time, and then they're gone. It's a real 180 by the show because it truly feels like they want to develop characters. There's just not enough time for it. It's not a show where you'll say, oh, my favorite character in anime is Kenta Akamatsu because he's so strong and reminds me of Kamina. Well, that might be true, but for most of the characters, you're always wondering whether or not they're gonna turn on each other because they don't really tell you enough about them. So, due to the fact that there's no character building leads to all of these characters being extremely forgettable. But this does lead us back to the beginning question. If everybody's gonna die anyway, would you do them a favor and let them die early, or would you wait until the end and die anyway? But there's at least one redeeming factor of this show. Well, it's not the art. It's definitely not that. I mean, what do you expect from a studio that's best animation comes from rants? Yeah. The character designs look awkward, hands move weird, and on top of that, the running animations, ugh. So for that, I give the art a big old 4 out of 10. However, just because the art's bad doesn't mean the show does a bad job at painting a picture and giving us the vibes of a horror game in this smaller town. It has music at the right time, and the opening is absolutely amazing. It's one of my favorite of all time. But it's got to be paired with such a terrible show, all things considered, and you can't take it serious for half a second. To finish off, I gotta say, this is the type of show you show a kid that is in his emo phase. Trust me, afterwards, he's not gonna be in his emo phase anymore, and he's also probably gonna run away from that deep of anime smut. Meaning, he's gonna go back to Naruto, and you're just gonna have to accept it, and probably be happy about it, because he was in too deep anyway. Andrew, I'm looking at you. You gotta get out. To finish off, I'd give this show a 4 out of 10. Besides some of the scenes being so bad they were good, the show kind of wasted 4 hours of my life. And it might not be the same with everybody, but I gotta admit, it just didn't feel like there was much pace going on with this show. It's really just A to A. But I honestly can't get it out of my head because of how interesting the storyline is and how lifeless these characters truly are. Let me know down below if you guys have watched this one, and if not, give it a go. Well, it's only 12 episodes, so you can knock it out just like that, just like young little Gorlock did roughly 7 years ago. I've been Gorlock. Make sure you like, subscribe, all of that jazz, and I'll be back with another Gorlock recommendation / overview. See ya on the other side, and watch some good anime. Maybe not this one. Really just question whether or not you want to watch this one or not.